Starting to the bottom of Polar Knight in his third game today, the StarTale player. The StarTale player.
StarTale Life.
There he is. Found him.
Really good performance today so far. Really solid player in the ZVZ as well. Going up against the last player of Team Seoul, to the top of the map.
Seoul Hiva.
And Life, of course, once again with the cancel on the extractor, going up to 11. Entire StarTale bench currently watching the stream. Question, of course, being if their player loses, who's going to be the next one? Will we see Avenge? Will we see Hack? A couple of options that we have there. For Seoul, they're already out of options.
Yes. I'm really curious to see how Life is going to play this. They both go pool first. Okay. Well, that's safe for both players, because even though we talked about how Hiva is very aggressive, Zerg, especially in this matchup, Life also is sometimes, so...
I mean, I expected the pool first, especially for Hiva. I just didn't expect it this late. Like, both are going for the 14 pool here. I would have expected, like, the pool maybe at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah. Well, he could still do some trickery here. He could definitely go for a quicker gas, cut out at 100 and go for a speedling attack, hoping that Life does not have a Baneling Nest. He probably would have added his gas by now.
Yeah. Like, what is this trickery?
He's like...
Late game, mid game from Hiva? Can somebody please check the booth again if we have the right play?
See, for him, he's really aggressive every time. So for him, the cheese, actually, the crazy thing, the all-in, is to not be all-in.
The thing is that, as mentioned before, Hiva has roughly a 50% win ratio in this matchup. I'm not quite sure if Life really saw that, but I think he saw the gas. At least he sees it on the minimap.
Yeah,
so that
the minimap tells him enough. I mean, there could have been a cancel, maybe, but...
Hiva, of course, by the way. Hiva has the scout and Life has the other gas here. Sorry for the mix-up.
It's okay. Two lings come out for both players. Almost identical builds here. Just the faster gas, of course, for Life.
I'm really wondering how fresh the memory is of the preparation is still in the mind of both players. Great micro here by Life. Wow. That was well done.
Queen's
and here's the Queen.
The
Oh! And he takes down both.
Wow. That drone needs to respawn. There he goes.
That was well done. I like that. But yeah, the thing that really amazed me when Life faced Hiva the first time was that Life's build were just so good against Hiva. They were so great against early aggression, and he had those timings down to, like, it was perfection. And if not for a few mistakes in the unit control, he would most likely have won that. But Hiva is one of those players that wins against all odds. Like, he has a style that is very unexpected, and he just goes for it, which actually characterizes Life's own style very well too. So going into the main base, trying to get that scout, and he's gonna get it.
Yeah, that was actually a mistake to have those lings run by. He could have stopped them. But you know, he doesn't actually really check all that much. I don't think he even verified that speed was being researched. I mean, you can assume reasonably. Speaking of reasonableness, that was unreasonable. What they did to that overlord wasn't fair.
That is actually... there are a couple of links already on the map, and the speed is going to kick in soon. As you can see, Hiva is completely foregoing speed here. He's going straight for the Roachborn.
He's actually
and the double
doing...
Evolution Chamber.
He's doing what his teammate did against Curious earlier. He's going for fast speed to control the map with less lings, though. And I think he's going to go Spire, Calver. He's adding the gases. I think that's what we're going to see. So he's trying to use some lings early and go for Spire. And I'm actually confusing the player names again myself now. This is, of course, Life doing this, not Hiva.
Life is actually now in the main base, and he sees everything. He can even take down one of the drones here. He sees the tech now, too. So he has all the information that he needs. And his own tech, as you already said, is at this point not started. We have...
There's the Spire.
Yeah. There we go.
So Life going for a quick Spire, and this is different from what we saw Hiva's teammate Youngju do earlier, because he has, you know, he got the Spire a lot faster. He didn't commit as many larvae to lings, so he has a lot more drones, and we're going to see roaches coming out, on the other hand, from Haiva as he gets the 1-1 upgrades and the lair.
There's the advantage that you have if you go into the Mutalisk play compared to the roaches. You get that expansion a little bit faster. And nice transfuse here on the drone. He really wants to have that hatch. The question now is, can Haiva hold it? What Life is most likely going to do is edge out a few more Zerglings, try to attack here, and also get the Mutalisk then into play. The Queens will have to defend that hatch while it's building. And on the other hand, Haiva with those roaches is something on the map that can just walk across the map and force Life to attack with those, with the Mutalisks.
Yeah, he thinks he's okay now, but he's not, because here comes the next wave of Lings. He lost the one that had transfuse. Will be able to save the hatchery possibly here. It's going to be close. I think he's going to have to cancel it. It's so close, he has to cancel.
And there's the cancel, but he lost his anti-air. He lost the anti-air. Now we have the Mutalisk building, and with the 2 Queens gone, he can move in. But we have the roaches still in position, so this is actually like really tense now. If Life gets those Mutalisks across the map and can take down the hatch again, then he's in a great spot since his own hatch is ready.
Yeah, and you know what? He's got a ton of Lings on the way. I think he will be able to force it down. Even the roaches have to be careful, because if he just fights the roaches with enough mutas and the Lings get the surround, he can kill the roaches and then try to go for the hatch and any additional Queens that come out. The mutas, of course, scouted now by Haiva, but he has to be careful. Here come those mutas. They're going to run into roaches in the middle of the map, but I feel, he could pick up a few here and then kind of ignore them.
Yeah, he could definitely do that, and even more Mutalisks are now building, so he sees that third and he's splitting his units, he's taking down the roaches already, and that's the map control that we were talking about earlier. The third base to the top right is not done just yet. He could attack here. There are Queens on the map. He needs to use the Queens, Haiva, that is, to defend that third, but I don't think he can.
Here come the Lings too, Keldor, and he's losing Overlords from balance damage. It looks like he's just not going to be able to save the hatch. This is looking excellent for Life. He's forced to cancel twice. He is totally controlling this game. He has total dominance. The one thing he doesn't have, of course, is the Roach upgrades. But he's starting his own Roach War, and now he's going to have +1 from Mutas soon. This group of Roaches looks puny and almost useless.
God.
Oh my god, he gets in the main.
And he takes down the Queen. He will kill one of the Queens, maybe even both. At the bottom left, another Queen for Life is most likely going down, but the Mutalisks are already heading that way, so that he will lose all of the Roaches here. The Lings are already in there, and now the Roaches are going down. He's using Burrow, but immediately the Overseer is being morphed. Life saw that already. Really great job so far by the StarTale player. An amazing position for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 base against 2. It's been that way for a while, and it just continues. He will be able to force a cancel here. There's not enough Roaches. Here comes the Lings. Going to get a cancel for the 3rd time this game. Cancel on the Spore as well. Kills the drone. And the Mutas are coming back. They're not resting here. He could actually pick off these roaches if he wants to trap them. I think he's going to go for it.
Life has the map control, and he is utilizing it. He has the better income, and the upgrades that we have, that advantage for Haiva on the ground, it doesn't really come into play. It might when we finally have those Infestors, but right now they're just not there. And another Spore Crawler at the front going down, and it's something that he can't afford. He's even going to lose potentially one of his Evolution Chambers. He needs to have those Infestors right now.
Yeah, those Infestors are potentially going to be his saving grace. He needs to get some Chain Fungals if he can. Life knows the Infestor are going to pop out soon, so he's being a little bit less liberal with his Mutas, being a little more conservative, trying to poke off the hatchery one more time. Did you see the drone to the right? Oh, wow, he finds it. Nice burrow here, but there's an Overseer, and goodbye drone. And almost, you can almost say at this point, goodbye Haiva, because he is just so far behind economically right now. So many Queens here, but they're not useful except against fighting the Mutas. And the transition is on. Hydralisk Den at home.
The problem is that Life's economy is just completely out of control. You can see it here at the income to the top right of your screen. We have a position where there's just so much income for the StarTale Zerg player that he can get his units out, he can get an overwhelming amount of army supply and just move to the top right, take down that third once again. Haiva just doesn't get a third.
Oh, he's actually just going to try to trade the Infestors, and I like this.
Nice burrow on the other hand, but here comes the Overseer.
Yep, and he actually doesn't get a very good trade here. There's way too many Queens, but the Roaches on the other hand coming from the other side.
Yeah, trying to take down the Infestors again.
He needs to burrow those.
He can trade here. That's one of the things that he can do, and that Haiva just simply can't.
Yeah, Infestors here are just a little bit awkward. They don't have any energy to help out. Like you said, he can trade here. Queens versus Roaches, not ideal. The hatchery over here to the right side, vulnerable as well. Life is breaking through. He may end the game right now. There's no more energy on those Infestors.
There's just so much. The Reinforcement 5 are streaming in now as well, but he's already down like 40 supply, and even more Roaches are now biting the dust. Third base is still building on the other hand, and Haiva for now just holds. So many Queens can go for the transfuse here, but Life is just producing so many units, getting another hatch as well.
Yeah, another hatch. Upgrades getting better, though. On the other hand, for Haiba, he will have +2. Life is getting range for his Hydras right now. We'd really like to see him add another Evolution Chamber and continue those upgrades. He will force the cancel. Now, I think the 5th time... No, he cannot. Not quite.
Yeah, not this time, but it's already low in hit points, and every hit point counts here. Saturating that 3rd base is going to be a problem for Haiba. Life still has some time here on his hands that he can just use to get more units into the game, and then when one big attack and take down that 3rd again.
Killing the tumors, making it harder for counterattacks by his opponent, and Life really just dominating this game so far. The hatchery, like you said, every hit point counts, so when he comes back later, he can potentially snipe it. And there's no drones mining, not a single one, so even though he has the 3rd hatchery, he's not using it right now.
But Haiba has the hatch at least, and he knows that he has to protect it. If he is able to make that happen, then maybe he can edge his way back into the game. He has the better upgrades. Life even going for the Nidus right now, and that's a really good move here.
Yeah,
oh, actually, sorry, it's not Life,
Haiba.
It's Haiba that is getting the Nidus. And I like this as well from him. Both players, if they get a Nidus in, that would be great, but Zergling's actually getting into the main base of Haiba now.
Exactly, Life saying, I don't need a Nidus to get into your main, and 3 roaches sniped here for a fungal, and he's going to lose even more drones in the main base, losing the queen as well. Worker count right now 57 to 43 in Life's favor. He's got a massive army here.
Yeah, but the army supply is actually only slightly in favor of Life. Haiba is back to 108, and his upgrades are good. He doesn't have the Hydralisks on the other hand, and that's becoming an issue. There comes the Nidus, and that's a really good position. Haiba with a couple of really good moves.
Yeah, I don't think Life is going to see this. He's checking a lot of different locations, but he's not finding the correct one. Well, there's no units in the Nidus really right now, and Life's going to go for the engagement. Turns around.
He has the Hydralisks, and that's a big plus that he has, but here come those roaches.
Yep, roaches coming around the south side here. They're finally going to be spotted by these overlords. And how is he going to respond? He's going to actually walk. Oh, poor Rally here, losing a lot of units. And can Haiba turn this around? Remember, for now, he still has the better upgrades.
Haiba is going in from 2 sides, but he's moving into the concave, and he can't do that. He's trying to utilize those infestors, but now just hightailing out of there, and Life is moving to the bottom right. He sees the Nidus. He has those Hydralisks with his army. The 3rd at the top right is going strong, but a couple of roaches were walking past the entire army of Haiba and taking down a few of the Harvesters.
And he could target down the Nidus here. Another engagement. There are fungals, and Life is attacking into a bad position, but he has the better economy.
He's eating the fungals, and here comes Haiba trying to break through that army. It's not going to be easy, though. And can he do it? It looks like he might just be able to, but Life is resupplying. But at this point, the rest of the roaches are just barely able to make this work.
Yeah, just barely. Infested Terrans being sniped here. And a few more reinforcements coming out for Haiba, but Life does have that Hydra at the back. Even the one lone Hydra making a difference in this fight. And Haiba takes a supply lead here, starts a few more infestors. That's the one tool that he has that Life does not have. It's the infestors.
Life is once again moving forward with his army, trying to face this, keep those upgrades in mind, still in favor of Haiba. The infestors, on the other hand, not trying to do anything anymore since they're out of energy. The Hydralisks are now joining the battle, going to the front. Haiba is moving in.
Haiba is taking this game back into his hands, but the reinforcements from Life are making this look like a MOBA game right now. The two forces crashing into each other right at the middle of the map, and it looks like with the rest of the infestors, he will be able to push this back, but for how long? Life does have reinforcements coming. The momentum, though, really in Haiba's favor because he has more infestors, and they're rallied across the map, and they're out for blood.
These upgrades just really working for him, and this looks like an all-mid game right now. Both armies going into the middle of the map, trying to just push their way through. The numbers are really very much the same, especially in roaches, but the Hydras are just not strong enough to push through. He needs those upgrades, a 2-0 that we currently have for Life, and he's moving to the top right, trying to take down this base once again. If those roaches are successful, and they might, he can take down this base, I think.
Keller, this is exactly what you said when you said every hit point counts. Transfuse, but will he save it? It's going to be close.
And he might. No,
he gets it. He gets the hatchery, and that is huge. This is going to give Life a huge window to recover. He also has that infestation pit on the way. Scouts and Nidus, that's not too important, but he's also going to be able to see up here to the top. There's no base to the back, and Life may consider taking his own base to the back there as soon as he gets his infestors out, gets a few Hydralisks out.
At this point, I think Life is just getting a massive army because he knows that Haiba has to attack.
He's pulling his drones. Haiba is pulling his drones.
He has to. I mean, he lost his base. What else is he going to do? Rebuild that? That's going to be such a stretch. He's just trying to go for it. He's going for the YOLO move, and he's waiting for the drones. He's moving in, and here come those infestors with the fungals, immediately using the concave on the bottom. It's better for Life on the other hand. Does he have the numbers?
though. This is going to be so close. The defense in the back not really helpful anymore. He breaks through. He has the better roach numbers. The concave no longer really a factor here. This is so close. Reinforcements coming up for life. He pulls the drones. Hiva has some roaches to the south as well.
He's pulling the drones, and another 10 units are being built here for life. He's trying what he can. The infest on the front don't have energy anymore. Going for the burrow immediately. Here come the roaches for Hiva. He's doing what he can. Life, on the other hand, he loses units. He's on the retreat. Hiva is moving in with what he has, but the reinforcements for life will be there in just a few seconds.
Income for life, much better still, about 300 minerals per minute better, in fact. He's trying to get a few more resources out here to get the better army. He's just trying to buy time here. Hiva is just not having the rally he wants, but he has the momentum here. He's picking off Life's roaches. He's got them surrounded.
Life is just trying to buy time here. He has the better economy. He still has the better production. If he can make this work, he's going to win the game. He knows that his reinforcements will be more. He's going for all of the drones that he has. He's just moving in. He's trying to just finally face those roaches and put them down one by one. Going for the macro here as well. A couple of infested Terrans are trying to take charge. Hiva has so many roaches still,
Hiva has too much. He's killed too many of the drones. I think Life is down for the count here, and it looks like Hiva's going to force the final match. GG!
Oh my god! Hiva, he takes the game! The Soul Coach is looking like he can't believe what just happened, and this game was crazy! He was so far behind!
He was so far behind indeed. Life was running circles around him. He had to cancel his hatchery 4 times. It was killed a 5th time. He just kept the pressure on. Those investors, though, and the control that we saw from Hiva, as well as his decision-making, that's what won him this game. And the decision-making in the last second there to pull all the drones proved to be the right one by far. And he was able to take Life out in a clutch, crazy final battle there. That was insanity.
Life was running this show for so long, taking down this space over and over again, getting a final snipe, and then Hiva is just like, okay, I'm all in here. Pulls everything he has and just goes to the bottom left and takes this game. Unbelievable that he was able to win this. He was so far behind in this match.
And this is the ace match. This match decides everything. These two teams have come all the way here. They've come this far. And the final player for StarTale, I feel like it's got to be Avenge. It has to be for me. Hack Baby. Well, they are really pulling a wild card out if they're going to put Hack out right now against this crazy player.
Wow, Life, I mean, this was just a crazy series, and Life already defeated 2 opponents, but now suddenly Soul is looking strong. Hiva, somehow this guy always wins.
He's such a great player when it comes to decision making, and he played a risky game. He got punished several times by Life. Life's aggressive strategy, but his late game was better. He had the better upgrades, and he had those infestors. That tech advantage that was granted by the fact that he skipped mutas. He didn't have, of course, mutas. That slowed down Life's tech a lot, even though he did a lot of damage with it. I feel like the best way to describe Hiva's play in that game was patient. He was so patient, and that really paid off for him. He saved most of his infestors. Crazy game nonetheless. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, me neither. And Life can't believe it either. I mean, look at him. He's looking at it and was like, how did I lose that? Like,
the amount of times he had Lings in the main base, how many queens he killed, how many queens he sniped.
Yeah.
It's insane. Wow.
Hack or Avenge?
Avenge for me. I'm feeling Avenge. But honestly, Hiva plays like that again, I don't know if either of those players can beat him. If he's really able to pull off a crazy comeback like that, I don't want to see him when he's at his best.
Like, Hiva is a player that I cannot understand. Like, there are players, you look at their builds and you're saying, like, yes, this is it, and this is it, and this is it. They're like, the reasons, okay, this guy is good because he has the best builds. He prepares the best. He has, like, insane unit control. But with Hiva, I don't know. Like, this guy always wins when I think he's dead. Here we have a quick replay. This
is when Life kind of, he has an awkward position because he knows his opponent's got the better tech. Nidus comes in here, and this throws Life off guard. He can't really decide exactly what he wants to do. He poorly rallies a few of his units here. And, you can see he's a little bit struggling to make a choice as to what to do.
That's also the point where the upgrades were better for the Soul player, since he had the +2 attack upgrade already.
Yeah.
But even at that time, you have to the top right a few units that are starting to attack that third. So Life has a few units that are doing damage, that are taking down a couple of the harvesters. And a good split here, but this problem, that the fungals that were always hitting at the right point in time, and the rest of the units engage a little bit too late.
Yeah, Life's army here is massively bigger, but the positioning is better. The fungals are perfect, basically, and it's 2-1 upgrades against just +1. And all of these little things, watch the supply change here. I mean, it goes from him being up like 30 to them being basically dead even. And I've even taken the lead.
That was the battle where he kind of lost his edge. Going in there a little bit too late with the rest of the units, already being in a bad position, and then the fungals were just golden. And with Gunbite to the third was very important, but this unit control here is just much better for Hiva.
I love watching these two players, by the way, at the bottom right. It's their reactions to watching this. Life is, I think he's looking to see that was the moment. He doesn't look too affected by it, but you can tell he's a little bit disappointed. Hive, on the other hand, is ecstatic because his team was 1 point away from losing, and now he's forced the ace match, and he's just excited to know who's going to be the next player.
At this point, the Harvesters are even moving down to the bottom left, and for so long it looked like Life might be able to do it. But look at this, only 7 Hydralisks at this point. They don't really do anything. And here we go, once again the funnels, they are everywhere. The attempted transfuses, a lot of the units being stuck for Hiva. Not everything is actually going to fight here, but then he moves in and he has the superior numbers, and it's just going to crush him.
Yeah, and when he moves forward into the Hydras and the Roaches, it's just the Concave doesn't matter anymore. The Infested Terran DPS.
You know, I feel that Life in this position actually thought, okay, I got him. If not for that, he would have pulled all of his Harvesters, and he would probably have pulled them even earlier than that. And with all the Harvesters to just soak up some of the damage, I feel that fight would have gone very different.
Yeah, for sure. Soaking up the damage, having the Concave, that would have helped him a lot. The upgrades continuing to work, of course, in Hiva's favor once again.
No, not there. That was same upgrades. The last fight, actually, in the fight on the ramp already in the middle of the fight.
Just the Carapace there. Life didn't have Carapace in that final fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so he has 2+2/+2 versus just the +1 armor and no Carapace for Life, if I'm not mistaken.
No, 2-1 for both.
Oh, 2-1 for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Already in the fight on the ramp in the middle, the +2 kicked in. One of the things that was really a problem was the drones that Hiva pulled didn't do a lot of damage at the bottom left, but they soaked up the damage.
Yeah.
And Life was really reluctant to get his own drones in there. He was like, okay, I got this. Like, I can defeat what you have there, and then I have a 3-base economy. If he would have sacked his drones, they would have soaked up enough damage for him to actually overwhelm Hiva, and then he still has the 3 bases and has the saturation. So,
I have something to tell you. It's Fruitland.
Oh, yeah.
Fruitland, of course
it
has
is.
to be, because it's our final map. And
Lemons. The Lemons will decide the game.
They could. I have no idea who's going to be the player. I mean, I feel like it's going to be Avenge, but with Fruitland, I'm like, well, it could be anybody.
I think it kind of has to be Avenge from how the players do recently. The only player that I could see if they decide to not take Avenge would be Hack. I mean, maybe the coaches are completely surprising us here, but I don't think this is a very easy pick for them. But Avenge would be the player that you would expect. Avenge.
Yep, Avenge is our player.
And we have no break, guys. We're going straight into the last game of the day.
I'm excited for this. This decides everything.
And I don't know, Hiva? Hiva is just insane. Hiva has a 48% win ratio on this in this matchup.
Yes.
So, not really 50%, but the thing is, this guy is just so unpredictable. That makes him so tough to play against.
Fruitland is also kind of an unpredictable map. We've seen Protoss players win against Zergs here before without Lemons even. And I would not be surprised if Avenge showed us something like that. StarTale coach looking very pensive here.
Yeah, I don't think that he expected the loss when Life was able to take down this third base so often. And in this matchup, I mean, Avenge has a 61% win ratio, and he just recently took down Hyun and Symbol. But there's so much pressure on him, and I feel that in general, Hiva is just the player who's able to deal with pressure a little bit better.
Yeah, I actually agree with you there. He has already got that momentum from winning a game that he probably himself thought he was not going to win. And that just gives you... Your adrenaline is rushing, you win that game, and you're like, I'm in the zone right now, whereas Avenge is just sitting down to play his first game of the night and his last game of the night, where everything rests on his shoulders. Whereas Hiva, things have been resting on his shoulders for one game already here, and he won it in the craziest circumstances possible. I mean, how could he be shaken here? There's nothing left to shake him.
By the way, I might have been wrong about those upgrades. I heard that it was like 2-1 versus 2-0, but I could have sworn that the overlay in the replay showed 2-1 for both. Once the fight on the ramp started. 1-1 at first and then a 2-1. I was actually pretty sure about that.
Well, you may be right.
But there was an upgrade screen, and I looked at that because I was wondering who had the upgrade advantage, but someone just said that there was an upgrade lead. I don't know. Whatever it was, Ivar played better, won the game. We are going into the last game of the day. Protoss versus Zerg, advantage going up against Ivar.